Hey y'all, from Spindle Mountain Mercantile. I am Heather. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Still getting over being sick, so we're just going to jump right into the crafting. Project number 1. At Dollar Tree last year, I purchased several of their little houses from their village sets, and I painted them with white chalk paint, hoping I could distress them and do something. Then I set them aside. This year, one of the huge trends are these gingerbread houses from Pottery Barn, and they sell them for oodles of money. And I thought, since the other trend this year is gold, how about I mix those? So I found this can of paint at an auction in a dumpster. Stirring it by hand isn't good enough, so you need to use some kind of mechanism to stir it. I like to use the milk frother from my submersible hand blender I found on Amazon. I will leave a link for that in the description. This milk frother has 2 little attachments at the bottom. I guess it probably makes better froth for your milk. I think it does a better job of stirring. And look how pretty that is. Oh, I love how this is looking. I can't believe things that people throw away at auctions. This house already has some gold on it because I tested the paint before I stirred it. It did not go on. Now, look how easy it goes on. It's like butter. Oh man, y'all, this paint is perfect for this. It's very smooth and very shiny, and I only needed 1 coat. I would use this again before I spray painted. First of all, because the spray paint cost me a lot of money and this was free. Secondly, I think in the long run, this would still cost less. Thirdly, I love how this looks. It's so silky smooth. These are the first 2 houses I did. The one on the left, all I did was paint the snowy parts. The one on the right, I added Snow Tex to those parts. It kind of turned a little bit of blue. It's hard to see there with that light. These are okay, but I want to try one more method, so I got out my Debbie's Design Diary DIY paint frosting. I sell this in my booth in upstate South Carolina, but I don't do mail order yet. My friend Heather at Create Your Own Cozy does, and she has created a link just for my customers to use, where if you buy something from Heather, she'll give me a little bit of credit, but she won't change your price. Thank you, Heather. I cannot stress how tiny of an amount you need of this paint frosting to mix with your paint. I'm simply getting a little bit out with the end of my brush and putting it in my little dish. Check this out. You can barely see how much is there. It's like I just spilt like a drop. I'm mixing in Debbie's Design Diary DIY paint in the color White Swan. I'm only using a little bit of the paint too, and I just mix it really, really good until it looks, well, like frosting. If you don't have a very steady hand, I think that would be okay because it's snow that fell on the housetop. I don't think anybody's going to look really close and say, hey, that snow goes out of the line from where they molded the snow. I put this on like paint and, just brushing it on. And then I went back and I kind of dabbed at it and swirled at it until I got the look I wanted that looks like snow. I added it to every place that they did have the molded snow, and then there were a few other places I thought it should be. For instance, the top of the window sills and the shrubbery. I just kind of dabbed it on the shrubs, and then I took my brush very lightly and just pulled it down so it looked like it had fallen down those. Now I'm showing you the one I did with the Snow Tex. I don't know if you can tell how blue it is. I decided to use the leftover frosting mixed paint on this just to cover up that blue, and that did work. It didn't look bad. I mean, could have been worse. It could have been yellow. Ugh. Next, I'm painting the trim, and for this, you do need a steady hand. I found to achieve that, it was easiest to put my painting wrist, which is my right hand, on the counter and hold the gingerbread house with my left hand. Then I moved my left hand around to paint the gingerbread house instead of moving my right hand. And that worked really well. I also tried a white paint marker and that worked good, but I think I didn't have good enough quality of a marker. So you can try that as well. I prefer using the little brush for this. It actually wasn't as difficult as it looked. So let's see some of the finished houses and compare them. This first one is the one I used the paint marker and the Snow Tex. The second one is the one I just made with y'all with Debbie's DIY paint frosting. And this one is just plain white swan. Which one do you like best? I was kind of surprised. I like this one best. Project number 2. I was gifted a bunch of these, and I actually found some at my mother's condo as well. When they got rid of the old lights and replaced them, they just threw these in the trash, and they put them in the boxes that the new lights came in, so they were all in great shape. Then I asked my sweet husband if he would make a base for this, so he cut 2 pieces of wood. He cut one just a little bit smaller than the opening of my globe, and he cut the other one larger so that the globe won't slide off. He also sanded this just a tiny bit around the edges so it wouldn't be rough on the edge, and then this he sanded a little bit more to make it look curved, so it's just a little bit more professional like. This is perfect for that. I can't believe I got this for free. Man, the things they throw away at auctions will never, ever stop surprising me. After I'm done painting this, I will let it dry, and then we'll get to the fun part. All right, so this guy is going in here. I obviously can't hold him to show you what he's going to look like, but he's just the right height. And I'm going to glue him right to the center. Lots and lots of glue. It doesn't matter if the glue comes out and shows because I'm going to put some things around him. He's going to go right in the middle. I don't remember where I got this garland, but it was probably Dollar Tree. Or maybe even the side of the road. It happens. Can unwind it a little bit. Pull it through. If you don't loosen these wires that are holding your garland together, then when you pull the garland through, it will strip all the little pieces of green off. So you want to make it just big enough to pull it through without stripping it. Is that it? That's it. I don't know. Can't tell. It's hard to see. It's camouflage. Oh! And I'm just going to glue this down so that it goes all the way around. And I think 2 will do. One thing I learned the hard way is when you are making something that you will never ever be able to get into again, you want to make sure all of the glue strands are gone. For that, I'm using my heat gun. Heat guns make those things disappear like magic, but you want to be careful because they're so hot, they will melt your floral. I want that for part of this though, so I'm holding it at an angle where it will just hit the bottom part of the garland where it goes onto the base my husband made. That way it will kind of shrink and shrivel, and it will be easier to get that glass globe in a firm fit right there. Yeah, that's working. Oh yeah. Okay. Oop. Maybe it will interfere less with the cover. Get some decent scissors and trim this. was thinking of putting some little berries or something down in there. My theme is a golden Christmas, so maybe it doesn't need a lot more. It's going to have the snow. Let's see how he looks, shall we? Let's try the winter berries, shall we? Try them in sets of 3. Oh, I like those. You know what? It doesn't need a ton. Just gonna glue some right in here. Oh my goodness. And we'll put some over on this side. Oh, he's so cute. Let's find some good ones. Some of these are a little bit scratched. Make sure we have 3. Okay. I don't think I want a lot of snow in here. I just want enough to make it believable that it's a snow globe. Maybe that's a lot. Let's put him back on and see. Oh, yep, that's a little too much. So we'll take some of that out. Oh, you guys, I hope I don't forget to take those hairs off. Let's see if that's enough. I love it so much. Okay, make sure all my hairs are gone. Oh, I'm a little paranoid now because I saw some from the greenery, from the little snowberries. Oh, here goes nothing, right? We get a new glue gun. I mean, you know what? This is a new glue gun. You can't tell because look at that. Isn't that awesome how much stuff is on there? I tried not to be messy. It was the most difficult 20 minutes of my life. I was thinking I would just put it on the rim of the globe, but I don't think that'll work because it might drip down. And I helped my mom make a couple of things a couple of years ago and that happened. Okay, we're just going to do this pretty quick. Okay, it worked, but man, I've got a mess. Look at all that glue. Didn't think about that part, but that's why we have these, I reckon. We found these at Dollar Tree in a package of, I think, about 8 strands, but you can also get the long strands at Amazon. I'll leave a link for those. If you buy something from Amazon by using my link to get there, they will give me a small compensation, but won't change your price. Probably don't even need to add any more glue for these. Oh, gee, many crickets. I just looked inside there and I saw a piece of glue, but I didn't. It was a reflection of something. Ah, it was scary. I was a little heavy-handed with my glue gun, so I have a mess right here. I'm going to add a little bit of greenery, some floral. I don't know if you call it greenery when it's not green. I mean, is it partially green? It's white, but you don't call it whitery. So that's why I said floral. I'm going to put one piece coming out this way. And hopefully I'll just use a little bit of glue here. One piece coming out this way. And then a pretty little rose right in the middle. Yeah, it is. It's too much stem. Oh, man. Arrgh. All right. That looks good now. Tell me in the comments if you agree. Project number 3. This project totally changed when I was done with it. First, I started, though, the same way. So I'm going to tell you what I did in the beginning. I took this picture frame from Dollar Tree and a popsicle stick and glued them together. And then I gathered all of these little ornaments that I got last year at Hobby Lobby. I have several sets of them. And I cut out a piece of cardboard, just the cover from my IOD book, around the piece that goes on the very back of the frame. The glass and the frame itself, what you see when you're looking at the picture inside of it, is smaller. So you have to keep that in mind when you're making something like this. I glued the popsicle stick to the bottom part of the frame, the bottom inside part, to make a ledge. And now I'm just adding some IOD. I'm going to skip over this really fast because this is not what I ended up with, but it's an idea that you could use in another project. I was going to use these just as regular picture frames. So look at this cute little family I put in there. It didn't quite fit though, so we're not doing that. All right. Now you can just cut out different pieces of, I don't know, some cardstock from maybe the scrapbook section and put that in there, and that would work perfectly. So I started by I'm going to put the Holy Family in this, right? So this is the only frame I'm making right now. I haven't gotten my great idea yet, but this is still really cute. So I put the baby Jesus in first, right in the middle, because I knew I wanted him there. And then I just kind of figured out where I wanted everything else. And I knew I wanted the angel above this. Oh my gosh, there's glitter in my hair. I'm not surprised there's glitter everywhere, but we won't talk about that. All right, so when I had baby Jesus in place, Mary and Joseph just went on either side, so I kind of messed with those. And you'll see in this one, I put a camel and some sheep. Well, they rode in on a donkey, right? So I did exchange that camel for a donkey, but I don't show it. I thought of that later. And this was it. This is all I was going to do, right? I cleaned it off with my hot gun to my heat gun. Yeah, my hot heat gun. I guess hot and heat are the same thing. Well, anyway, I blew it off with some heat to get rid of all those little hairs. And then I was done. So I went to sleep and I woke up in the middle of the night with this amazing idea. And I was so excited. When I went out to do another frame, I kind of scratched it a little. So I took some 88 grit sandpaper, or wait, 220 grit sandpaper, and just went with it. I made it more distressed. And I did this to, it ended up 3 frames. My son went back to the store and got me another frame. And look at this. I just wanted to show you this because you didn't have to even add any floral to this one. But I did. I put some floral on it. And I'm doing the 3 wise men, right? Okay. So this is actually, I went to bed that night and I woke up in the middle of the night and I had this idea. I kept singing that song, "We Three Kings of Orient Are," right? And I thought, why don't I put a hymn in there? I was so excited. I started going through one of my old hymn books. It's, all bent up because it got wet and they threw it in the trash and I took it back out. And I saw one for shepherds and I thought, oh my goodness, I have shepherds, I have the wise men, and I have the Holy Family. So I'm doing 3 frames now. And I'm adding the hymns to them. So here's what I did. I'm going to remove this very carefully so that the glass stays in place on the backing. See how it's... Ooh, look, it did move a little bit. I bet you it goes like this. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to use this pencil and I'm going to make it at a very exaggerated angle so that I won't write right next to the glass. I don't think it will show if I do right next to the glass, but I want to make extra sure. So we're just going to do this. And over here, the same thing. We're going to mark the top and the bottom. Next, we're going to take our hymn, Silent Night. I don't care if the 89 shows, but I want Silent Night to show, and I'm so sad because it's not even. Let's check out with the glass. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see the S. So the only thing to do is to bring it down a little bit. I could scoot it over, but then the problem would be it would show too much over here. Maybe I could do a little bit of both. Just remember it's going to be within that line. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, maybe we could pull it over a little bit more. I don't want the glass to move, and it's going to. All right, I think we have it. I wish that it wasn't blank over here. After all of this, I figured out that what I will do next time is just tear gently all the way around the hem. Then I'll use something like gold or black and just rub it gently on the edges, or maybe even burn it. I think that'll make the whole thing look more balanced. So I took everything off and I simply used tape around the very outer edge of the hem so that you can't see it through the glass. And I put it on the bottom and the two sides. I didn't put it on the top because there is that little space. I suppose you could put some greenery up there, but you'll see in the after pictures, it really wasn't necessary. You can barely notice that there's a line. You would have to be looking for it. The whole thing is just so cute. You're not going to see that. I found two other hymns that matched my other scenery. So I have the Holy Family, I have the Three Wise Men, and then another frame has the shepherds. And y'all, oh, I am so in love with this. My sweet husband loved it a lot. I might give it to him for Christmas. I didn't film making all of these because it was just a lot of the same thing over and over again. I did paint one of the shepherd's robes a different color because the set only came with one shepherd. I have several sets, so I could, mix and match. I also used two of the sheep. So in a different one, I won't have a sheep, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. Tell me how right I am that these are so adorable. Project number 4. I found this little box in my stash. It's a little rocking horse that I guess probably had some floral in it before I got it. So I'm going to put this little tree in there. This is one of those trees that has a battery pack on the bottom and it lights up. I don't think it lights a star. I think it points a light up and makes the star look like it's lit. I couldn't get the star off, and then I thought, I probably shouldn't take it off because there might be a wire in there. I'm not sure. And I added a little bit of these, well, a lot of bit, of these little miniature dollhouse lights. You can find these on Amazon. I will leave a link for them. They're so cute. And I think I got the green one and the gold one for like $8 or $9. And there's a lot of them in there. So I just wrapped it around a couple of times. And at the beginning and the ending, I used my glue gun to make sure everything stuck. It was really stuck in the bristles of the tree going up and coming down. So I didn't have to use glue anywhere else. I did put quite a bit of glue on top of the styrofoam and I put that tree right in the middle. To stick with my gold theme, I had to find some greenery to match in there. Oh, first I needed to paint the star. So I tried this, and I'm only showing you this because it was an all complete fail. This stuff might work on something else, but it does not work on plastic. I will try it on other projects. This is the Folk Art metallic gold from Hobby Lobby. I don't recommend it for plastic. So I'm using Rub and Buff, and I think I'm just using regular gold leaf. And this worked really good. There was a little bit of that metallic still left on it, so it really adhered very, very well. But Rub and Buff, it goes on everything I have discovered. Right here, I'm putting it on the wood. And I realized after I did just this part that shows on the front that the other raw wood on the sides just stuck out like a sore thumb. After I went around the edge, I just kind of did little dabs all the way around the rocking horse on both sides. And then I did the raw wood and covered every bit of that with the rub and buff. And it looked pretty cute. Oh, I also put it on the outside edge of the horse. It needed a little bit more. I thought gifts would look cute in there, but I didn't have anything that I could do that with. Maybe I could have painted some blocks, but I chose to use some of this floral that I got last year at Ollie's after Christmas. It's kind of wild looking. It's just like twigs that are glitter. It needed a little bit of red, so I cut these berries off. They are those kind that have, it's almost like little glass. They look like those sugar berries, when you put really, I forgot what it's called, the rock sugar on your grapes or berries and put them in the fridge. I'm not sure how you get them to stick. Anyway, they're really cute and they're yummy to eat, but these are plastic, so don't eat them. I needed more gold to match our theme and to just kind of pull out the other bits of gold that are in this. So I cut some more floral that I got at Ollie's and just kind of put everything here and there. It was still a little bit unbalanced. So I found a little Santa my mama left at my house and put him behind the tree. And now it's perfect. Project number 5. I'm going to try something just for kicks and giggles. I don't want to waste this paint, but I want to know how this works. Have you ever seen where they dip things? I have a friend whose front door was dipped. And it made me wonder, can I dip stuff too? And I bet I can. So we'll see how that comes out. I don't have a ton of gold ribbon, but that's okay. It doesn't take a lot to make this look spectacular. I mean, a lot of different variations. I have only 2 pieces of this wide gold, and I made sure the shortest one was long enough, and I measured everything else based on that. So I wrapped my smaller ribbon in half, or I doubled it up, and then I made it a little bit higher than where the napkin ring top is, and I had it go all the way down to the bottom where that shorter ribbon is, and then I cut that. And I made 4 strips of those. I did the same thing with this wider gray ribbon that has the gold Christmas trees on it, except I only did 3 strips of that. And I layered them every other one and then gathered them up, and I put them through the napkin ring, and I glued just the 2 sides. Then I put my finger down inside the middle between all the ribbon, and I just kind of pushed it out towards each side of the outer part of those ribbons. I hope that makes sense. You can see what I'm doing here. And then I added that other piece that I only have 2 of to the side. So I pulled the ribbon apart, or away from the wood, and then I put some glue in there, and I added that piece of ribbon, and I used a pencil to make sure it got all the way up inside there. I did the same thing with the other piece of that wide ribbon. So when you're looking at it from the front and the back, you'll see that wide ribbon, and when you're looking at it from the sides, you'll see the mix of the gray and the thin gold ribbon. Next, I took an angel ornament that I think I just got at Dollar Tree, and I laid flat that one piece that I glued all by itself, and I put the glue onto the ribbon. I should have probably put it on the bird. Live and learn. And then I pressed the bird down. and I cut the string off. I was thinking I would use that string to hang it inside the wood, but I didn't trust that little tiny string. And then I pulled the ribbon to get it off of my counter. And now I'm cutting all of the smaller ribbons just with a slant. And you have to cut a slant on ribbon or they will fray. Unless you want them to fray, and then you don't. And I'm doing duck feet, dovetail, on the wider ones. And making sure that they're all a good length. I don't want them to be the same length. I just want them to be the right length so it looks balanced when you're looking at it from a distance. Next, I took the smaller wire, and this is all, smaller ribbon, and it's all wired ribbon, and I wrapped it around my pencil. And then when I pulled the pencil out, I just kind of pulled it and untwisted it a little bit to make it not so tightly coiled up. And I did that to all of the smaller ribbons. And at the top, I added another gold ribbon to hang it, and my tassel was complete. Project number 6. This isn't much of a project. I just want to show you what I did to this wooden nutcracker I bought last year at the end of the season at Hobby Lobby. They were $10. I got these for 90% off, so I only paid $1 each, and they're pretty tall. They're probably 10 inches, maybe a foot tall. I painted this with my gold spray paint. I didn't know what to do with it after that, though. I tried bows. I even painted some white on it like I did the gingerbread houses. It didn't look right. Well, I was in the shop the other day, and somebody else has some. They simply painted gold, and that's it. I don't like to sell things that other people have already made and put in the shop, so I didn't put this in the shop. We'll just use it in our decor this year. But next year, I think I might put it in a little vignette. But this was a very quick flip, and you could probably make some pretty decent money with it in your shop if you choose to do so. So did y'all have a favorite? I'm sure from the squealing I did when I was making the snow globe, you think that might be my favorite, and it is darling. But those frames, oh, I just love that I woke up at night with that idea. I couldn't get back to sleep, and so many times I wake up and I think about bad stuff. So that was kind of nice. Okay, I think this might be one of the very last Christmas videos. We'll see what we get to next time. Until then, I hope y'all have a wonderful week. And as always, I hope you are blessed. Bye.